Good afternoon. Good morning. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Are we live? Let's see. Yes. I think we're good. Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome back to episode number 25 of the live day trading stream here. Lorenzo, Corrado is your host for today once again. We're going to trade gold today once again. We are in resistance on the higher time frame. However, we are still looking quite bullish on the lower time frame. So we have to come to a conclusion today. We have some news as well. I hope you guys are ready to rock and roll with us. If you provide or you like this stream, then smash up that like button. We highly appreciate this here. It really is important for the channel to grow. And we've been growing really hard, guys. Really, really hard because of you guys. And I'm truly grateful. And we understand it's probably the news that is coming in around, what, 30 minutes, 25 minutes here. So we're going to go over this here. But before we do that, let's kick it off with some music. Okay, baby, let's go. Welcome back. Sorry. I have another one for you. Wait. What's this one? Let me start for real, I promise. Okay. Sorry, I picked the wrong one. Man, I'm so bad. Okay, for real.
Así me gusta soft. 7 copas, una juca tequila. Sal y perrear. No tienes vergüenza, mami. Baby, quiero ser el río de tu Tokio. Chingamos en la casa de papel sin negocio. Esta vida nunca se acaba la fiesta. Comiéndote todo el día que se joda esta dieta. sucker, 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 yeah. I tell her sucker, I make this motherfucker.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen. Sorry. I'm trying to become a better DJ. I do my absolute best for you, but you know, your boy makes errors. I'm a trader by the end of the day, okay? We're gonna talk about gold. Let's do something that we're actually good at. Let's go to the markets here today. Let's talk about the news that's coming in around 20 minutes from now. The PPI, all right? We have some major news coming, red folder news that we have to pay attention to. Of course, you guys probably already aware of here in around, 20 minutes? This is important data, right? The PPI is kind of important data that we have to take in consideration here. It's in 18 minutes, so it's not that far away. We are also, by the way, guys, in higher time frame resistance right now. Look at that on the daily time frame. Look at where we are, right? I hope you guys can see clearly that we are actually currently in that resistance at the moment here, okay? So what we're trying to understand right now, is gold strong enough to break through that resistance, or will this resistance hold? And will we actually find some sort of short-term, you know, reversal or a rejection or anything in that manner right there, okay? The trend is bullish on the intraday, and it looks actually super strong. If you look at it from this perspective right here, we created higher highs and higher lows, right? Very, very clean. Series of higher highs and higher lows, higher highs. We're pulling back. We're trying to break out here. We're trying to take deeper into that resistance here. And gold is, per definition, on the intraday, actually still relatively strong, all right? However, we are in higher time frame resistance here. So I hope you understand the conflict of interest that we are currently experiencing, where the higher time frame daily levels or that zone is super important, okay? Cannot be neglected. And at the same time, on the lower time frame or the intraday, we're still pushing deeper into that resistance. So there are still buyers willing to buy gold right now, regardless of it being in that resistance right there, okay? So this is something that we're seeing on the daily time frame right now, and this is something that we have to take in consideration. Now let's take this down to the 8 hour, and this is where something called supply and demand comes into play here, okay? When talking about supply and demand here, if you know, you know. This is a rally, this is a base, and this is a drop. The drop closed below the initial rally. You could see how that base turned into that 8 hour resistance right there as well here, okay? We talk about this all the time on the higher time frame. This is exactly what we talk about in our book right here on page number 152. If you want to learn about supply and demand, identifying true supply and demand from a technical perspective here, then this is what you can study as well here in our book. This is on page number 152, 153, etc. here, okay? We have our rally-based rally. We have our drop-based drop. Okay, let me look at that. Drop-based drop. We have our rally-based drop, which is right here. This is our rally, our base, and our drop. And this is pretty much how it looks like on the 8 hour time frame. The rally, the base, and the drop. And this is why we are forming that higher time frame resistance right there, okay? So if you are interested in getting my book for free here, you can download this beauty right there. It's all in there, completely for free. You go to the ltconcepts.io page. It's just my website right here. You fill in your email, and then within a couple minutes, I'll send to you this exact book right there for free, okay? Fill in your email address, and then you should have it perfectly right there, okay? All that makes sense. Let's move forward with what we're currently seeing on the order flow, okay? We're gonna wait for the news anyways right now. We have around 15 minutes left for the news to come into play here, all right? Are we all aligned on the higher time frame? Let me know. Let me know. If you see yes, then type in a yes in the chat, okay? Higher time frame resistance, in my opinion, is confirmed here, okay? You can see how many times we are getting rejected at it here, okay? We can also see this in the order flow, by the way, right here. If you go to the daily time frame on the gold chart right now, on the order flow, you can actually also see that we are right now in, let me just quickly open my pencil here. So it's actually a bit cleaner, okay? Right around there. You can actually see that right here, we are seeing a lot of sellers coming in on the daily time frame. And this is exactly where we are getting rejected at right there again, okay? Again, higher time frame, okay? Higher time frame. We're going to talk about the dollar in a second here, so do take that in consideration, but this is what we are currently witnessing as well on the higher time frame right now as of what we speak here. If you go to the 4 hour, you can see it a bit more clear right there as well here. Hope this makes sense. This is that major seller. Major sellers came into control. Every time when buyers came to him, they failed. Sellers took control, right? A lot of trap buyers here, sellers took control, okay? Again, a lot of sellers right now, but we're not breaking down yet, okay? We're still holding that intraday support right here, okay? This is kind of what we're seeing here from yesterday, that push towards the upside. We're still holding that support right now at the moment. We're still trending up. The intraday trend is still trending upwards, but we're reached that major higher time frame resistance at this current moment right now, okay? But this is something that we have to take consideration here. Now, does it mean that I'm only gonna look for short setups? That doesn't have to be the case, and I'll tell you in a second why that is, because it could be that on the lower time frame, we simply break above some key structures. This is on the hourly, on the footprint right here, and I'm gonna go from the higher time frame to the lower time frame on gold on the candlesticks, and then we'll move to the footprint chart like we're doing now. You can see that this is an area where a lot of volume has been traded right here. A lot of negative delta as well. That means that there were more sellers than buyers, but we're finding that support here as of right now, okay? So what we're doing here, guys, is we are compressing. We are, squeezing right now. We're not squeezing, so we're compressing, and the range is getting tighter and tighter and tighter, and it just allows people to get into the market early, and then maybe we're gonna see some manipulation before the real actual move comes to fruition here. So once again, similar to yesterday, we have to be extremely patient, patiently waiting for the right confirmation in order for us to elevate our chance, or elevate our probability of actually getting something out of this New York session today. Okay, and I truly hope that the news will give us somewhat of an indication and give us the insights we need in order to get there right now at this current moment. On the 5 minute now, you see a lot of selling here. A lot of aggressive sellers came in around 6:30 a.m. EST New York time, and price actually came back up again, and it still got rejected. So we know where these sellers initiated right there is where we now have that resistance as well here. So we're fighting in between battles of support and resistance here. Clearly on the candlesticks, let's move it down back to the charts on the lower time frame. You can see very, very clearly that we are in a range right now at the moment here, and that the only way for us to get a confirmation is, in my opinion, the break out of that range right here, deeper into that resistance, which is tricky, or the breakdown with a confirmation, or the manipulation and the actual breakdown, okay? So we're gonna talk about this here today, and we're gonna go deeper and deeper into the potential scenarios here, what I think is the best potential chase setup overall here. I'm just gonna pay a lot of attention to what we can expect today in this session here, all right? We have around, 11 minutes for the news. I think this is kind of important here. So let's move forward with our second step. Now that we have done the higher time frame analysis on gold here, now that we are in the range on the lower time frame, knowing that we're in higher time frame resistance, knowing that the intraday trend is bullish still, we need to look at a couple other layers here. I think that the dollar is one of those layers, okay? And one of those layers that I'm seeing on the dollar is the fact that the dollar is weak. Look at the dollar today. The dollar has been absolutely tanking today, super aggressively, breaking down right here. But there is one thing that actually shot my eye here, okay? And that is the fact that if you go to the 15-minute time frame on the dollar, let's put the dollar here on this side, okay? So you guys can see it clearly. There we go. You can actually see that while the dollar has been absolutely tanking here, okay? Look at the dollar coming down, coming down, coming down, coming down. Gold is actually pretty much in a range, okay? So that is very important to take consideration. And the reason why this is happening is because there is a lot of selling happening on the higher time frame. So from that higher time frame resistance right now, you see a lot of sellers coming in. The dollar is dropping, dropping, dropping. Gold is not breaking higher, okay? So this is why I pay a lot of attention right now to the dollar, knowing, and this is important, guys, knowing that the dollar right now will actually be very close to a daily level, okay? Look at the daily time frame on the dollar and look at where we are now tapping into at this current moment right here, okay? I hope you guys can see it clearly, but this is now where we are tapping into. We're tapping into that support into that resistance here, right? You can see clearly how important this level is for the dollar right now and how we are almost there or slightly reacting from this level at this current moment. So what I'm very curious about with the dollar is to see how do we actually react from this level at this current moment as of what we've seen right now happening, okay? So I'm very patient with the dollar. I'm kind of to see, okay, do we find support? Do we come up, break out with some volume, right? Is there a chance that the dollar comes down and up with some volume today? That would potentially have a negative impact on gold. And at the same time, oil, look at oil right now, guys. Oil right now on the higher time frame, okay? You can see this very clearly, is also in a daily demand zone, or you could say in higher time frame support as well here, okay? We're still holding, and actually the way oil opened up today was without a top wick. And the reason why this is important is because we just have to watch oil as well as much as the dollar right now to get an understanding of what gold is doing, what gold is up to right around here, okay? So oil is ranging, but we're at support right now as well here. So we are at a major area on both the dollar, on oil, and on gold at this current moment. Higher time frame support here. So our question will be, how do we turn that higher time frame understanding into lower time frame execution right when we are at higher time frame resistance right now? This is what we're looking for, okay? This is what we're seeing, all right? So we're looking very, very closely at the dollar. We're looking at oil. We're also looking sometimes at the 10-year yield. We're looking at the treasury bonds, which is the treasury bond futures, which is actually opposing to the yield right here. If the yield goes up, the bonds go down. And then as an additional layer, sometimes we look at the euro, because the euro has a major impact on the dollar, right? So what we're trying to do here, we're trying to understand how every one of these instruments are aligned. And if we can find certain patterns, which we've seen a lot over the last couple of streams here, it helped us tremendously with our execution and giving a clear indication of what the sentiment on gold actually is here, okay? So I hope you guys are so far on the same page. Let me know if you guys are kind of understanding what I'm trying to explain you guys here right now at the moment. Type in a 1 if you guys get it, okay? And then we move to the lower time frame on gold. And I tell you exactly what I want to see here from gold for me to actually say, okay, it's worth now to potentially find something or to get into a setup or something, or to make it a bit sense here, okay? Number one, dollar needs to strengthen. I think that's important, okay? I think the dollar needs to show a little bit of strength right now at the moment. The dollar was coming down, gold was not pushing up. That's interesting, okay? Right now, on the 4 hour, we're seeing a lot of selling. We're seeing a lot of selling, but we're not breaking structure. We're still in the range. So we're going to be very patient to see how this develops here, okay? And then we go from there. What I actually wanted to see was a closure below. I need to actually confirm that here. A closure below the 80s, okay? The 4780. As you can see that we are kind of holding that support right there, right now. Also here, right here, we have been holding that support right now. And we want to make sure that if we continue to break down, that sellers actually control price. And we do that on the lower time frame, the 5 minute, and then we go from there, okay? Now, there's one more thing that I want to share with you guys, and that is, of course, the volume profile. You guys have seen the volume profile on this chart right here. And your question might be, okay, why did you mark out the volume profile exactly like this? Now, the main reason why is on page number, let me go for it here. The volume analysis here, page number 52, okay, the swing volume profile, a momentum-based approach, okay? You can study this, you can learn about this, you can actually see how and why we mark out the levels, the way we mark out these levels here. And you can actually see now that if we mark out, and let me just show you what I mean, the volume profile on the candlestick chart here, which finds amazing levels, by the way. You find amazing support and resistance levels through this method, okay? You utilize the fixed volume profile. You create it from the bottom here of this swing, right? This momentum play towards the highest candle, okay? And it shows you a red line. And in that red line, you can actually see that we have been holding that support there until now. We're still holding support there, by the way. We're still holding that support, okay? But this is what we call the swing point of control right there. And this is what we're seeing. We're kind of hovering around. We're holding that support right here. You can actually see how this level has been very important to control price, okay? To control price. So if we manage to break below this, yeah, we might be shifting a little bit here. So we're going to pay a lot of attention. We have news in around 3 minutes. Let's see what the news does. Is the news bullish for the dollar, bearish for the dollar? How does price react to that? And I think from there we get a good understanding. But I think once again, patience today is, yeah, sorry to say this, but actually I'm not sorry to say this. Patience today is a must, okay? For me to be involved here, it is a must, okay? It's something that I cannot control, and the reason why, because we're in higher time frame resistance, but we're in a lower time frame upward trend. So we still need to wait for the right confirmation to look for potentially the reversal right there, okay? Anyways, that's today's analysis here, guys. We're gonna, of course, do the breakdown after as well here. And yeah, obviously the goal is to continue with our overall trading right now at the moment here. It's very important for us to really pay attention to these lower time frame levels as well here. Once we see the reaction. And I hope the news is on our side today. I really hope so. And I hope that the price reacts positively to that. Yesterday, we had some news around Iran again. Yesterday was also a crazy trade. What a move yesterday. Wow. That was exactly what we wanted to see yesterday. We wanted to see the wick. We wanted to see the push and the reversal. And we got exactly that yesterday, right? Incredible trade setup. I hope, you know, you guys learned from that. There's actually a textbook setup. This is a textbook setup that we talk about a lot on the streams, which is these, which are these like reversal plays or the candle flip entries. That is kind of the idea here. So yeah, let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can continue our processes. I'm using TopStep right now to build this out on the stream during the New York session. Why not, right? Besides another account that I'm using as well here in TradingView. So I actually utilize and take trades on both of those. Kind of split it a little bit. But right now we're holding that support here. Buyers are still willing to get into the market right now at the moment here. So yeah, we still have some time. How long is it? 1 more minute for the news? All right. Okay. Let me look into the chat. Let's see what the chat is thinking today. What is the sentiment in the chat? Let's figure that out. Let's see where we are. There we go. Ivo Huisman says, I think we need to watch the news very carefully as we are at a key level for the US dollar. We are absolutely at a key level. You said that very right. Correct. We are at the daily levels here. Okay, major daily support level. I'm gonna mark this out. I'm gonna highlight this level here. Let's do this. You are completely correct. We want to know what happens if we reach that level right there. How do we react? Because gold seems to be slowing down. But we have news right now, so who knows what happens? We're gonna pay attention to this here, okay? Bro, where can I get the ebook? Link is in the chat, my friend. We'll share it with you right now. Studley says, win is the sentiment today. Shallow traders' losses are common in this battle of trading. Of course, everyone loses. Everyone loses. You have winning streaks. You can also have losing streaks, of course. Right? Let's hope not. We'll do our absolute best every single day. That's all we can do as traders. Doing our absolute best every day. Getting the best version out of ourselves on the streams, on the trading. So let's just keep moving forward with this, huh? Let's do our best every single day. And let's try to get 1% better. Okay. News came out here. Reaction. Ooh, negative for the dollar still. 0.5%. Cool. How does the dollar react to that right now at the moment? Dollar is actually coming down a little bit. Tapping into that daily support. I'm very curious to see what happens around this support right away. Okay. 0.5%. That's actually, yeah, not necessarily good for the dollar right now. But we will reach major daily support soon. Gold doesn't really react to it. Yeah. Overall, the dollar has been dropping and dropping and dropping and has been selling off here today during Asia and London session. Allowing gold to push back up again late at night. We started to drop it around what? Pre-London? and then we actually broke, kept coming down. So let's see what New York will bring. Any pullbacks on New York? That's the question here. So far, so good. So far, we're holding. You can see again, this is our level, right? This is that level that I said that we wanted to break. The 80s. Look how we're reacting from it. Clearly, we still are reacting from it right now at the momentum. So we have the 80s here. We have seen that support. We have seen that support right there. That is also the shift, right, of structure. If we can break that, then we consider the shift of structure right here. And if we manage to close above the 48.010, yeah, I mean, it could easily be that gold will just break through resistance, higher time frame resistance right here, especially if the dollar stays weak. But for now, let's not think about this yet. Longing in higher time frame resistance is always a little bit tricky, right? Especially when it's so clear. Look on the daily here, the 4 hour. Major zone. A lot of sellers are just stepping in. They're just unable to push price down, so they're still buying. Let's see where we can get our hands in today. Let's see if we can get a little scalping in right now. Any trades on? Listen, man, I'm always in a trade. When I'm in a trade, you always see me being in a trade. You see it all, my friend. You see the wins, you see the losses, you see it all. That's the whole point of trading live, right? Pretty much. You see it all in real time. All right. Yeah, we have some resistance here, definitely. Still. Steven, man, what's happening? How are you doing, brother? Yeah, today's London session was pretty choppy. All right, the Asian session did make that move here today. Pretty decent move, actually. Right, a total of 1,000 pips. 1,000 pips from the bottom right there. Correct? No, not sorry. Not the Asian session here. Nope. 500 pips from the open till the daily highs. Dude, I kid you not, the 50-minute MGC trading view is different than the chart you're using. Not necessarily. Yeah, it's slightly off maybe because I used the gold, the mini, not the micro, on the Orderflow. Slightly different, but there's just more volume on this one. Love it, man. Already 200 likes here. Thank you, guys. Appreciate this. I really appreciate this. Thank you. Yeah. We love to go live here. I love to go live here with you guys now 5 days a week here. I am more committed than ever before to show up here. Just so you know, if you don't know who I am, I've been live streaming or live day trading for the past 4 years. Yeah, 4 freaking years actually. But recently I started this new format after a break, 4-month break, 5-month break. Okay, so I came back and I yeah, I never really expected it to pick up so well. And the messages I received, like incredible messages as well here. So yeah, very grateful for that. Very grateful for that. Yeah, this is that 50-minute range. So if you want to break below the 80s, I think that's a very good sign for sales to look for a continuation right now. I don't like how, like for example, I actually do like how gold is not really pushing up, even when the dollar is weaker, right? Something is telling us, listen, we're in higher time of resistance now. The question is, will we be breaking down, or is this just a move temporarily? Let's also use our valuation indicator. Let's see where we are. I think we're not overvalued. We're actually more undervalued right now. So it's not the time to short it. Not the time to short it yet. Do you always trade gold? Yes, pretty much Goldie. Goldie is our instrument here. A lot of people trade the, you know, a lot of people trade the Nasdaq, right? A lot of people trade the Nasdaq, but we like to trade gold. Buys would be definitely more aggressive here. Also, if you break above the 4800, there is a chance you can get a quick scalp to the upside, even when you're in higher time for resistance. So that's what I'm always saying. Like, doesn't necessarily mean that, oh, we're in higher time for resistance, so I'm not longing, because it happens all the time. You dive deeper into that resistance, okay, with like some good confirmations. But the management has to be on point. The risk management has to be nailed. It has to be on point. It also has to be like well managed, right? There need to be a clear target as well in order to get there. So let's see what happens, because the 4800 that you see right here in the 15 is sitting actually right around there. Right there. Okay. If we manage to break that, and there is a chance we're going to go back to the highs again, right? That is the scalp that I'm talking about, right? It's not much today, because you are in a higher time for resistance. But that would be a scenario where that could be interesting. But for the rest, the dollar is not breaking structure yet. That's a good thing. You don't really want to see the dollar pushing higher, right? Not too much. And also oil is still relatively weak as well here. So as long as we're holding that support and we're not breaking down, then there is no reason to short it. It only makes sense below the 80s, in my opinion. Below the 80s right here, if you can close below this. But for now, we're getting to that undervaluation, right? And we take that very, very serious. We know how important it is. That actually is, according to our historical data. Okay. Even when we're usually up, when it's like undervalued, it doesn't necessarily mean that you go up, but it usually tends to mean that you at least want to start ranging here for a longer period of time. What is your current streak on the stream? Yeah, I need to calculate it, but I didn't have any losing days so far in the last 2 weeks. I had break-even days though. I closed our trade on break-even. We also had trades where we were in drawdown. Pretty heavily actually, and then we managed to trade out of that drawdown, right? So we did have some bad entries, but overall. pretty good so far. I'm just trying to keep up the processes right now. Stay patient, stay focused. Don't be too focused on it, you know. Stay sharp. Yeah, so conclusion, higher time of resistance is very evident here. But buyers are also definitely willing to push it. So I'm super curious, guys, to how we close this hourly candle. Because if we close this hourly candle above the 97, we're nowhere near of breaking down yet. And yeah, it would only lead us to short-term scalps pretty much to the upside if you want to trade the range. But either like the larger move here is not going to happen, right? The larger move will happen below or will actually happen above that resistance, especially on the daily. Yeah, I'm just as curious as you are right now. We kind of see the same thing happening on the dollar, right? Pretty much the first 2 hours is just consolidation. And then we see the real move. We see the real freaking move, okay? Do you accept negative for today? Yes, of course. You cannot avoid that. Hi, Lorenzo. Thank you for your extra chart template. How do I make my bubbles bigger so they're more visible like yours? Okay, good question. So on the 5 minute, I have my bubbles. This is for the big trades. The 5 minute and the 15 minute. On the higher time frame, I don't show it because I think it's irrelevant. I look at it on the 5 minute and the 15 minute. And these bubbles mean large participants, large orders executed in the marketplace. So large seller, 110 contracts. Large seller, 107 contracts. Look at that, 7, 94, 93, 200. One single execution. And the way you can change that is by going to big trades right here. Right there, you click on big trades. You go to the settings, okay? And then you go to show big trades right there. And then you click on the circle max radius and you put it at 25. Okay? You put that at 25, my friend. Right there. Hope that answers your question. Ooh, still in resistance, still in resistance. What I don't like is the undervaluation against the dollar. You know why I don't like this? Yeah, we're back. Yeah, I think we're back. Sorry, guys. I had some internet issue here. First time in my new villa. I hope it's good now. Yeah, I think we're good now. No, it's good now, guys. Sorry for that. Yeah, typical island life. The internet actually has been pretty good here. Not gonna lie, it has been pretty good lately. But you know, typical island life. You never know. You never know. Bartek Twardo, thank you for the sub, man. I hope you're doing well. You arrived perfectly. We're gonna do some giveaways very soon again. Very, very soon here. Okay. And thank you guys for the 119,000 subscribers. We're heading towards the 120. I was at 100 before the when the format started, like 100 and something. When the format started 25 streams ago. All right. So we gained a lot of subscribers since we started streaming again. I really appreciate you guys. So thank you for that. If you can reach the 500 likes today, that would be sick. At least 500. That would be amazing. Yeah, yesterday's trade was crazy. Yeah, I agree. I agree, man. I think I was in the trade for around 1 minute. 1 minute. We waited for an hour and a half to be in a trade for 1 minute. Can you believe that? The power of patience. Holy moly. The power of patience. Damn. Yeah. Still holding the swing point of control. Do you see that? Do you see how important this level right now is? Super key, right? Super important level right now. Okay. Very important level. Gold, balance, trading session, New York. Higher time frame resistance. Whoop. Bias, neutral. Wow. Session bias is still neutral. Longs and shorts. Scalps. Longs and shorts. Scalps. Scalp. And with scalp, I mean a good setup, not a... People think, oh, it's scalp. Why? It's just a scalp. Get in. It's just a scalp. Yeah. It still has to be a trade that makes sense. Jeez. Lorenzo, what are your main POIs for today? Break below the 4780 or a break above the 4805. The 4805, pretty much. Look at the 50-minute. Very, very clear. Red zone, red zone. This is what I'm waiting for, the break out of that. See if we can find our entries then. You know, if you are aggressive with an undervaluation, some people say, you know what, I'm just going to enter and I'm going to put my stop loss below that resistance, below that support, sorry, at the 80. Sorry, actually not the 80, lower. The 78. Okay. And the 78 on spot is... Sorry, the 78 on futures is actually the 67, 68 on CFD on spot. But yeah. Aggressive entry would be actually at the 90s here. So the 90, 4790 long. And then the stop loss at 78. Pretty much like this, pretty much. Let me see if I can find it here. Not that I'm going to take it right now, though. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Because I'm going to wait for that breakout here. But it will be something like this. And then the target would be... Yeah, yeah, it's just like the 14 to like the 19. The 18. Let's say 18. And then maybe the 14. Something like that, right? Something like that. But I'm not gonna take it right now. Gonna wait to get out of this balanced session, out of this balanced range here. If we can close below the 80, I'm convinced for shorting, but yeah, the dollar needs to either push up a little bit. We need to get a bit like, we're a bit undervalued right now, right? A lot of manipulation can happen around these areas right now, especially because we're in higher time frame resistance. Like this, boom, you know what I mean? Like, so these closures are number one, super important. And also this has to cool off a little bit. We need to push up here. Look at this, right? Higher time frame, boom, perfect short right there. Also here, perfect short, perfect short, perfect short. Let me actually set it on 50, so it actually is better. Because we're ranging, right? So we need to change this. Yeah, exactly. So 1, 2. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, you see, we're still getting suppressed here, so was no reason for me to take the trade. All right, sellers are starting. I think sellers are trying to push it right now, right? Yeah, look at that. Look at the daily as well here. Okay, wow. Yeah, the dollar is finding that support here, guys. I think the dollar is there. Maybe I marked out my zone not perfectly here. Yeah, actually I didn't. We are now there. We are at support here, yeah. We're at support and the correlation was already off here. So the valuation is something that I need to take a bit for granted today. Because we have been ranging for so long while the dollar was dropping, it's always important to confirm this. Let's see if we can do it, man. Let's see if in 5 minutes, because we have 5 minutes left for the hourly closure, if we can close below the 80. I'm very curious as well to see if we can close below this. That would be big, by the way. Yeah. 30 minute, 50 minute, 30 minute. Yeah. Yeah, we're in that major resistance. We already know that. The question is, do we have enough firepower to break down here? And actually break this level here. And then not just break it, close below it. Yeah. Will be interesting. Look at that selling, guys. Wow. Yeah, well, you have to understand one thing. The reason why it's so tricky today is because look at the amount of selling on the 1 hour time frame here. This started at the London Open, okay? This started at the London Open. I'm gonna make it bigger for you. All right, look at all that red. Every hourly candle had more sellers than buyers in it, regardless, right, of it being a green candle or a red candle. In both green candles here and here, there were more sellers than buyers. It's all red, but the question is, why isn't price breaking down right now, right? If there's so much selling, if there are so many sellers, why is price not breaking down then? At resistance especially. So this is why my bias is still neutral for today and not necessarily 100% convinced bearish. Because the trend itself on the intraday has not shifted yet. And you can see this as well from like an absorption standpoint, how sellers are trying, but they're not really succeeding right now. Doesn't mean I will not short it though. If we close below the 80s, I will look for shorts. But it's not per definition, bearish yet. At least from what I see. When do you trade, but you are not streaming? Do you get bored? What do you do in those times? Do you feel lonely? Well, number one, I have a lot of things to do. I have a lot of things to do outside of trading, outside of the streams. So don't worry about it. I have a lot of things to do, both from like a personal standpoint and, there are a lot of things to do. I try to stay busy. Money loves speed. You know that. So we need to step up our game here every day. And that's what I've been doing, especially lately. I've been really trying to be on point with everything. With everything. Let me know if some of you guys are working right now. If you are actually on work on this beautiful Tuesday. All the respect to you. Working hard while still being here, listening, tuning in, and trying to learn. A lot of respect for you. A lot of respect for you. I think it's super important to stay open-minded and to learn a new skill set while you're doing your job or whatever you need to do to make sure that you are secured, your family is secured, whatever is necessary. That's the real grind, and I respect it. Yeah, this is what I mean, right? The 90 is still holding. Adi tries driving a forklift and watching on the side. That's some G shit. How incredible is that? I love that. That's some real commitment. I like that. I like that a lot. Respect. Do you execute your trades on the 5 or 50 minute? Both. The 5 and 50 minute time frame. Yeah. The 5 or 15 minute time frame. Yeah, it's holding that support. The dollar is actually breaking down. The dollar has no signs of strength whatsoever, guys. Wow, look at that. The dollar does not care. Yeah, this makes me believe we're going to hold that support here. Wow. Look at the dollar holding that level here. Shall we just give it a try at 90? Because we see these sellers here on the 5 minute, 15 minute here. We see these sellers stepping in here. And failing once again. And failing. Wow. Unbelievable. Really, really interesting to see that. The 90. And then just yeah, how many contracts? Like what? 3? Yeah, something like that. No, maybe, yeah, 3, 4. It's possible. It is possible to give that a shot here, but you know, look at how strong the valuation is shooting up right now. Oh man, what a range, what a range. Let's get out that freaking range. The aggressive trade will be entry at 90. Definitely. Wow. Did you see the Forex news? No, not necessarily. What is... oh, wait. Yeah, the PPI, right? Yeah, of course. We watched the PPI. Let me see if I can actually show you the... No, nothing crazy in terms of news. I will keep a close eye on this as well, by the way. But yeah, that's something that can come at any time. We know that. Yeah, we could actually try it. In my opinion, I'm definitely maybe I'm tempted to try this. The 90, or if you already break out of the 02 here, then that zone will be broken. And we will close that in like what, 11 minutes, I think? Yeah. The hourly candle also closed. Yeah, we're still above these major levels here. It's a lot of compression, guys. A lot of compression here. Can't really trade like large breakouts now because like... We'll see what the range does. Daniel Berger. Lorenzo, I am setting greetings from setting? Greetings from the hospital. Yesterday after your trade, I made a small win on the buy. All right, congratulations, man. That was, yeah, it was amazing. That was good. You're in the hospital right now, bro? Renee says, I work in the home office. Let's take a quick trade. Okay. Well, I'm the entry at 90, 4790. If I would do something like that, if price would come back again, yeah, I might give it a shot. Dollar broke that resistance, right? That support here. And we actually closed pretty strong below that. So, you know what I mean? This is pretty strong. Triple says blessings from the USA. Nice, 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 nice. I'm a truck driver. Imagine that, driving your truck around, looking at the charts, trading the New York session. That's how you do it, my man. That's the spirit. Yeah, we marked out this zone for a reason. We know why this zone is important. Oh man, it's so tight. The range is so small. It's so small. Yeah, you really want to see these highs, you know, potentially getting taken out. I do agree with you. I do agree with you saying here. Yeah, I think I'm just going to try and see where it takes us, right? Why not? Let's just do it. At least if it goes there, it goes there. If not, it is what it is. But I'm going to place a buy limit at the 90s. And I'm going to set my stop at 78. And I'm going to target the 15. Was it the 18? Sorry, I need to confirm this again. 1 second. Yeah, I could say the 14 already. The 14. Let's say the 14. It's pretty much there. You could also say, okay, if that's the case, then we might have to actually go for these highs. But let's see. I'm not gonna put it there because, of course, I don't want to get triggered into a sell or a sell limit. If price comes back, I'm gonna give it a shot. If not, and it goes, it's okay. But the closure below and the dollar there was very important to me indeed, as well right now. And yeah, small range trading, I guess. Like, give it a try. At least give it a shot. It's not even that much of a... yeah, it's okay. I'm gonna give it a shot. Let's see what happens if we get there. Yeah, we know that we're in that resistance there. We couldn't really break that. Yeah, I see exactly there. Exactly there. We already knew this. Actually, it's a good thing, by the way, if you can actually pull back into this again and try again. We haven't fully tapped into that yet, into the 90s yet. Not with this candle here. We came to the 93s here, okay? We haven't came back to the 90s. The 90 point, yeah, actually the 90s. So if you want to go, we go. If you go already, it could be. It could be. It could be, but I'm not going to chase it here. Definitely not in the range. Definitely not in the range. GDP Trade says, Lorenzo, I'm up 7.8K on my prop firm account. I am so happy. Damn. Congratulations. After 3 years of struggles. Wow. GG, my friend. Well done. Get your payout quickly. Get your money. Take your money, brother. Take your money. You deserved it. Take your money, G. Get it. Take what you can get. All right, gold is holding pretty well. I think the dollar is getting rejected. Yeah, that's what I'm talking. That's what I'm talking about. If the shift is happening in real time, the shift is happening. We might actually squeeze already. Wow. Yeah, you know what? Like this only makes me more bullish because like if the dollar breaks this level just like that without even a proper reaction, right? Usually when you reach the daily level on the dollar, you see a proper reaction. This is not a reaction, guys. This is just straight up rejection, little bounce. Okay, cool. Closure below, rejection. Boom. Continuation. Right? That's it. So the fact that so many sellers here entered the market right now on the hourly time frame here. This is on the 1 hour. They started at 2 a.m. London open 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So much selling, unable to push price down here. unable to push price down. So this makes me more bullish. I think there's actually a chance here that we will potentially try to break that resistance here. I don't see any other way now at the moment. The more bullish I'm getting. So if that buy limit is not getting filled, for example, and we do close strong, and we have a slight pullback, I might still trade. I might still take the trade as well, and a little bit higher, depending on where we close, which level we are. You know, I might still do that. I might still actually do that right now at the moment, at least. This is what it's looking like. If I'm wrong, we need to close below the. We need to close below the 78, like the 80. Right, the 80, below the 80s, I would say, okay, guess I'm invalidated. My bias is invalidated. But I'm starting, the longer we're in this New York session now, the more I'm thinking, hey, the absorption is taking place here. All right, so yeah, stick with what we got here. Sells below the 80s, and anything above that could lead us to that continuation. At least if you can get into this limit order, right? We don't chase it. This is why I love the limit order so much, because yes, we're not always getting filled all the time, but most of the time we actually getting filled, by the way. Most of the time we're getting filled. And if we're getting filled, we at least have room to play around and think about, oh, is this a good trade? Are we like holding well? What is the market doing, right? And then we can manage the trade better. But yeah, if it goes right now and we actually close above the, what is this? The hourly? Yeah, the hourly, right? If you close above some serious levels here, yeah, we might actually find support higher. Even says all these sellers are getting trapped. Yeah, this is exactly it, right? You know why? Because on the higher time frame, it looks like we are, and we are, in higher time frame resistance here. Okay, so what are a lot of people doing? A lot of people take shorts, right? You can see it. A lot of people start shorting. The price is not breaking down. The dollar is still very weak. It just shows that there's an absorption taking place. Like buyers are absorbing these sell orders now, the aggressive orders in the market. I'm starting to become more bullish, not because of this 15-minute candle, but just because that the longer we're here, the more I'm getting like, hey, listen, this is something here. The dollar also struggling, not really reacting. But I always have an invalidation in mind. If I say, yo, below the 80s, okay, I'm wrong. My long bias is wrong here. Yeah, I hope we come down, actually. I hope we get there. Okay, we did close above this, right? Yeah, this is gonna pull back into the 98 potentially here. 98. 98. You have that closure buffer. Yeah, I might move my limit order now. 98. We broke that, so that's done. 98, 98. $98 makes sense. What is our range telling us? There we go. Point of control. Yeah. We closed above the point of control here. Let's see what happens. 86. Stop loss at 85 now. 85. Yeah. Okay. I moved my limit a bit higher these days. Still want the retracement, of course. Not gonna go market. The 98 is the point of control here, which is exactly what I want, to pull back into the point of control. And then the potential reaction here, but that's kind of the last shot, I would say. That reaction, because otherwise we're gonna get too high up into that resistance. Yeah, the fact that the gold is doing this right now is very important. The fact that it's not pushing down. So much selling, not pushing down at all. Yeah, this is the 97 level as well on the hourly. Right. Oh, right there. Yeah, what I want is like gold push back. Hopefully we do. Let's see if it happens. There, pull back, there. Find that support at the point of control and then just continue to go and take out the highs at least. Gurus, my friend, good to see you. Welcome to the stream, man. Hope you're doing well. Bit of a tricky day today. GTA 5, Charvy, welcome you too. I'm gonna make sure that I at least have it set as well here. Let me quickly fix this. Where was this? The 80. Yeah. The 98. 95. How many? Yeah, something like that. Okay. Brave says, I'm currently on guard at the borders of Libya. All right, damn. I'm currently on guard at the borders of Libya. Serving my country while making some dollars with the G. Yo, respect. Respect, my friend. Are you using Windows or Mac? Windows. I don't know. I have a Mac, of course, as well, but like Windows is like chill. I like it personally at home. Massive push for gold here. Look at oil, it's coming down. Yeah, dollar struggling, oil coming down right now, right? It's still in support though. Don't get me wrong, it's still there. We're gonna reach an overvaluation soon as well. So let's see if we pull back. Yeah, so our initial top process of the 90s was actually good. Right there. I actually kind of liked it overall. You can see that very clearly. very tight range though. But yeah, if this candle closes above, we're gonna, all these sellers will be stuck in their trade. All these sellers will be stuck in their position. This is why, like I said before, the longer we are here, the more we see this, the more bullish we're gonna get here. And the higher the chance we will just break daily resistance today. We actually just will break it, right? Strong 4 hour as well. You know how gold can be, right? It can be very explosive. Very, very explosive here. It can just poof, squeeze up. Take out all these sellers. I think it says many times miss your entry. Bro, shut up, man. We've been trading every day for the past 2 weeks. Every day. You're sleeping. Is the volume footprint paid or can I get it for free? I think you can get a trial. You can definitely get a trial, I'm sure. I'm sure you can. But yeah, it's definitely paid if you wanna learn about this. I'm not a sponsor, right? I'm not a sponsor. I'm not getting paid from extra charge to promote this in any way, shape, or form. I'm just using it because I just really like the platform myself. I really like it. Yeah. What is your average win rate in RR? Right now, I think we are literally at like, since the streams, I think we're at like a 77% win rate. This is what I mean with squeezing. Our gold can just push, take out all of these sellers right now. I might should have been a bit more aggressive at the bottom there and just give it a shot instead of waiting for the pullback, etc. here. But I still think it's a good level anyways. I would regardless look for another trade, another entry. If even if I would be in, this could actually be just a trade to skill. But this is what I mean with selling, right? If there are so many sellers but price is unable to break out here, so unable to break down, it's usually very bullish, even in higher time frame resistance here. So this is why, and this is so interesting about order flow, and this is something that's super helpful for order flow, is when you actually look at the higher time frame, you know you are in resistance here, you think that, oh, you're in resistance, so we look for shorts, right? But then at the same time, if you actually go to the order flow, you see, wow, there is a lot of resistance. There are a lot of people selling, but they're not pushing price down. Something is happening, right? The larger absorption takes place. So it actually only increases the chances that we're going to take out that resistance. And this is kind of what we're trying to see right now, right? What we're actually starting to see here a little bit is that no matter how hard sellers are trying at resistance on the higher time frame, we're not pushing. We're not pushing down. So definitely worth a try here. Let's see. Okay, look at the dollar. Dollar is reacting a little bit here. Dollar is doing its thing here. It's reacting. What I want to see is actually the reversal. I want to see actually the pullback into that level, and then the closure still above the 4802, which is the very high. Let's see. Do you trade London? I do not really trade London session because I haven't really seen a lot of volume during London session. I'm not sure. Do you guys trade London session? Let me know. Asian session, definitely. Actually, the pre-London, the Asia session is actually very, very nice lately. Super nice. So if you're from the United States, for example, you are so lucky because you can trade New York in the morning and you can trade Asia in the evening. That's super good. That's super chill. For me, it's the other way around. Asia in the morning and New York in the evening. Young Elite says London is heartbreaking. Yeah, London is, London. Whew. It's a tough one. It's New York. It's as choppy as New York with twice as less volume. Yeah. Where are you from? I'm half Dutch, half Italian. Look at that wick, look at that rejection. So let's see if we can push into our level. And then boom, fill that wick. Let's see. Let's see if it's possible. Dollar seems to be pushing a bit. As well as oil, right? So, whew. We need to pay attention to them. We need to pay attention to the dollar here. Yeah, look at the 4 hour. We are reacting here, so need to be very, very tight here. Very tight here. What a range. What a range. Lorenzo, what happened to the Limitless Discord? It is currently closed for new members. We're just here on the lives right now. All right, yeah, we're getting very, 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 very close right now. This is the 4802. We might already find support here because we are at the very high. We are at the very high. Look at the dollar also today. The correlation is a bit off today here. So we take this with a grain of salt. We look at the order flow right now. We look at the volume profile. My zone is definitely sitting at the 98. If we can create a wick and flip into that, that would be legendary. Yeah, this looks strong. This looks strong. This looks very strong. A lot of people, you know, they short in this higher time frame resistance, and then think like, you know, we have to be short biased. because we're at higher time frame resistance, right? And you know, what if it just breaks it, right? What if orders come in? What if a lot of selling happens, but no one is able to push price down? It's just gonna break that resistance. So I am not necessarily, and this is where Orderflow is such a good tool, because I'm not necessarily always short biased in resistance, for example. But you need the right confirmations, right? We need the right confirmations. So I'm willing to give it a shot and just see where it goes. And yeah, let's see if we can actually get there. But it's holding up really well, also against the dollar. The yield is in its resistance here clearly. Yeah, it's very, very, very strong. Why do you wait for a buy limit when it's already above it? Yeah, that's the point of a limit order, right? It's to wait for the pullback. That is the point of the limit order. Is to not chase the market. Yeah, holding really, really strong here. This hourly candle as well, or the 5-minute candle is going to close right now. We have the 06. Yeah, we're going to find a lot of support there as well. Yeah, you could see, you see sometimes, guys, sometimes I see it exactly. I see exactly what's going to happen here. Just don't find my best entries, for example, or at least getting filled into my entries or whatever, even though I see it. And that can happen for me sometimes as well. Right, this is a good example. So let's see if you pull back, but I'm not going to change anything here. Just going to keep it up. Otherwise, if it doesn't get filled, it will probably be no trading day for me, but let's see. Let's hope we actually pull back. My buy limit order is still there. So I do really want to like, I really want to get into obviously trade. Clearly, everyone wants to, including myself. And we just explained the absorption, right? And how important it is. And it's actually just playing out like that. It is beautiful. So it's good to see it again. And it's a good confirmation as well from like an order flow standpoint to just always learn about it, because it's super, super interesting. Initially 90, then we moved it up to 98, but we're still pushing. Good Life says, little Asian kids scalping 200 pips up and down on TikTok, and we're talking here. Yeah. I mean, you're here, man. You're here. You're not there. You're here. My guy. All right, we have a closure in what, like 20? Okay. We're already back at this 15-minute zone. This is going to be the squeeze. I think we're going to, so far, like everything that we've been talking about is actually just coming to fruition right now. And that is that we're... it looks like we're going to squeeze hard today. And we're going to squeeze to that higher time frame resistance. Absolutely. It's very, very, very interesting. Let's see what the dollar does. Yeah, dollar already getting rejected here. It was a bit of a fake push on the dollar. Immediate reversal. This song reminds me of John Olsen times. Okay, yeah, the old travel guy. I know him as well. I think we've broken the daily highs, right? Yeah, we've broken the daily highs right now. So let's see what the reactions will be. But yeah, this is probably exactly what I was talking about right now here. Look at these buyers stepping in. This is the squeeze we talked about pretty much on the stream from the beginning. Okay. The actual trade was, when I said it before, at the 90s. I didn't take it for some reason. Then I was like, okay, now we have to close it there. We could easily get filled in the pullback. Never pull back and squeeze to the upside here. So this was definitely the best entry. This is still, in my opinion, a good level. Don't get me wrong. But it's just a major squeeze now. That's exactly the squeeze that we expected, anticipated after we saw all these sellers, and we're saying, you know, the longer it stays there, the larger the chance we're just going to squeeze aggressively to the upside eventually. And that's what we have been seeing. Okay? That's exactly what we have been seeing here right now at the moment here. So there's no reason, in my opinion, to start aggressively shorting this. Because this is what a lot of people do. They look at the daily highs, they see the rejection, and then they're trying to short it. And this is why right now, we're going to see shorters coming in. You see this already right here on the order flow, right? But there is so much support now right here sitting that we could easily do something like this. Look at that. This is the reaction after the daily highs are taken out. It could also be that a lot of buy stops are getting filled here, right? A lot of sell stops, sorry. Buy stops are getting filled, sorry, because all these sellers are here. Buy stops are getting activated. Price reacts aggressively from that. And you see this right here, a lot of aggressive buying at the top with these green candles. And then, of course, the sellers coming in after that. But this doesn't necessarily mean that we're bearish. Chris Invest says, I've asked 6 times if I can have an answer in the selection of the 15 already finished, or if there's still places available. There are still a couple of places available for this. So yes, if you're really committed, you can also send me an additional email. All right. hello@lorenzocorrado.com. I repeat, hello@lorenzocorrado.com. You can send me a message. So, you know, we got so many applications that it's almost impossible for us to go to everything. So we handpick right now. But if you're really committed to say, yo, I want to be in, right? You can message me at hello@lorenzocorrado.com. And then we go from there. And I've seen you in the chat, Crazy Invest, all the time. So I appreciate you for being here and showing up. Okay, this is a strong reaction. I think it's a normal, I think a healthy reaction, by the way, here as well. The fact that we are taking out the previous daily highs. I mean, if you start to short here, a lot of your buy stops are going to be placed around there. And you kind of see these aggressive buyers stepping in at the top. That means that these activated orders, these orders were getting activated. And I think this is why we're kind of seeing a kind of a run. I would not call it a stop loss run, but a stop run. Okay, it's different. Buy stops getting activated. So if we close this hourly candle, this is the most important, right? That we do not flip this hourly candle. That will be nasty, by the way. Because if you would flip this hourly candle here, before the close, it suddenly a major manipulation actually, because then it would be this complete swipe and it would just do something like this. And we break structure, etc. And this would be considered the manipulation. But if we close this candle on the hourly time frame above it, I'm pretty sure that this is just going to be a short-term pullback for a larger, larger push with a closure. Lorenzo got the exhaustion on gold up 8.3k, met the consistency rule, about to request a payout tomorrow. Yo, my G, congratulations, my friend. Very well done. Amazing to hear that. Amazing to hear that. That's what we love to see in the chat, man. People are getting their payouts. People making money. I love seeing that in the chat. That's amazing to hear. That's what we're doing it for, right? That's what we're doing it for. Showing up every day. All right. Can I get into a trade too? That's the question. Can I get into a trade today? Should I still give it some time? I think so, yes. The reason why is because if this hourly candle closes above, above the, at least above the, let's see, at least above the 4803. Let me actually highlight this zone right here, the 4803. We don't want to close below that. I don't really want to close below that. We need to close that hourly candle above that. Yeah, I still maintain bullish. I don't necessarily then see it as a manipulation, for example. But anything is possible, right? Like 15 minutes, anything is possible. You guys know that already. But that's also going to be the confirmation from my side. To see if it's still possible to get into an entry. Or if I end up not trading today. The first no trading day in 2 weeks. But let's see. But better a no trading day than a loss, I would always say. But the confirmation will be there soon. Then I know if I need to wait or if it's just probably going to be a goner.
Tonight I'm gonna feel alive.
Yeah, you see, it's still holding up really well. So actually the analysis was pretty clear at some point. Your buy limit's still a good entry. Yeah, for now I keep it. For now I keep it. It's just I don't want to get wicked into a trade, let's say on the hourly time frame. If this candle would flip out of nowhere, for example, right? There's still not the certainty that this hourly candle will close like this. So maybe for like, let's say after the hourly candle, I know more, right? I know after this closure, I know more. I know if I like want to move it or if I want to keep the limit order or if I pretty much will not trade it this session. Let's see. Yeah, you never know, man. If there's one thing I've learned from these orders, these limit orders, when people say it will never come back, the amount of times I've seen it coming back is the amount of more times, let's say, I've seen it coming back rather than not coming back is significantly more. Significantly more. Not always, of course, but never say never, man. That's something that I've learned in trading. Never say never and never say always. Okay? Really try to avoid these words in trading terms, okay? Always. Oh, this always happens. Or this never happens. No, 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 no. Background says, I got a nice sell on the previous daily very low. 150 pips done. Congrats, nice. Nice sell on the previous daily very low. But the previous daily very low was lower, no? Much lower. So it was probably what? A sell? Wait. Previous day very low is here. It's a bit lower. I don't think it went there. The buy limit almost never gets hit. I don't know. Have you guys seen that streams? Have you seen the streams, my friend? What do you think? Do you think the buy limits are getting activated or not really? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Yeah, let's see. Let's see, let's see. To be honest, if this gets to our answer, that would be insane. That would be insane. Emma says, if I would buy now, your buy limits would get activated. Yeah, let's see. Hi Lorenzo, can I ask you about the bootcamp? Is Sergio part of your team? Yes, Sergio, the man himself, is part of the team. Correct. Yeah, we have an amazing group of people so far. I'm really blessed. Really looking forward to it. What is the other level besides the 98? There is one more. There is one more, and that is the 4803. Okay, the 4,803. It's actually a little bit lower. It's actually right there, right below that. That's one more. But the overall bias was clear, right? Not shorting below the 80. That was definitely what we talked about on the stream today. We would not short, above the 80. Only short below the 80. And the longer you hold there, again, the undervaluation as well here, it did this thing. You know, it did this thing. So there were definitely some signals, right? There were definitely some signals. I think I personally procrastinated a little bit because of the dollar. That is the reason why, I think. Because I did place the limit order, but I could have placed the limit order 5 or 10 minutes before that and be in the trade. So, no excuses. If price pulls back, great. If not, I will accept it, but I'm still happy that the overall idea in my mind, in my head here, actually is playing out here. This is what's the most important to me, is that the story that I built in my head, that it actually comes to fruition. Because it means that I know the right things here. I know what's going on here. The absorption was real. They're all getting stopped out right now. And this is why gold is squeezing so aggressively. So it's a good lesson. All right, 5 minutes for this closure, right? Then he already closed above the majority of these levels. And then all these sellers here are stuck. Yeah, the 78 and the 03. Well, what I see happening is that, let's say, if you break the previous daily highs, price comes up, breaks out, price pulls back. A lot of shorters are going to enter here because they see the reversal. Price pulls back and it just continues the trend, the intraday trend. After building up all these sellers there. Where's your TP? I don't really have a strict TP in mind right now. It's more about getting in and at least having a stop in this example. All right, 2.5 minutes. This is what I want to see. The closure above on the hourly. This is going to help us tremendously with seeing, okay, our buyers are actually in control right now. And, you know, a lot of volume will come in probably in the last 5 minutes. Especially because the closure. You see a lot of buyers at the top here. Sellers closed, and now it's a question of, are sellers going to enter? I think so. If we want to see pullbacks, in this case, I think sellers are going to enter. Well, let's see. How do you place a buy limit on TradingView? You need to be logged into a broker. And then you click here. You set the amount of contracts that you want if you trade futures. If you trade spot, you set the lot size. You click here and you click on the buy stop limit. And if you want to press a market order, you just click on buy or sell. Okay? Okay. This is the last shot. The pullback. This pullback is going to be the last shot. For me. 1 minute. Yeah, that 1 minute was crazy. I saw that. Look at that. Huge buyer came in last minute. Yeah, this looks bullish, guys. This is I can't neglect it here. Everything in my storyline played out here. Above the 80s. And it pretty much did exactly that. It did exactly that. How old are you? I'm 32. Yeah, so we closed really strong, right, on this hourly candle. I don't see this being... I do not see this being weak whatsoever. I don't see this being weaker. Okay, we're going to have a lot of support. We're going to have support at the 15. We're going to have support at the 9, right? 4809. We're going to have support at the 4802. And then we're going to have support at our level. So it's going to have to go through all these levels first before we get to our buy limit. So I don't think that my buy limit is viable here, to be honest with you, after this closure right now. I don't think it is viable here. I mean, it could come back, but it's just the lowest maybe that I would say is the 03. Okay. Is the 03. And then stop loss at the exact same level pretty much, but then with a larger move. But that's the only level I would look for, but I don't see it right now in this session pulling back. This looks very strong. This looks very strong. Dollar is ranging, right? Dollar is ranging. Gold is pushing. Oil is tanking, right? This is the reason why. Oil is struggling right now. Look at oil. Look at how oil is pushing down here. There's no chance that gold will not react to oil dumping here. Okay? Absolutely no chance. All right? Yeah, so I'm going to leave this for today's session, guys. I think I'm going to be transparent here, fully 100% transparent. You guys know how I am on the streams with you guys. I am 1000% transparent with everything that I do here on the streams. Everything. Okay? Let me explain what I mean here. So right around the 90s. I could pull it back. If we watch it back here, I literally said I could buy here. We could place a buy order right there at the 90s, stop loss at the 78s, and look for that reaction here. Somehow something in me didn't allow me to take that trade here, to set that execution. Even though we have been trading quite aggressively over the last 2 weeks. We've been trading every single stream, every day. But somehow something held me back from entering that trade. Okay, right there. And then when we broke out, for example, and I saw these buyers stepping in, I saw that strong 50-minute closure, which was right around the 50-minute time frame, right when we closed above this high, right here, this high. I knew, okay, buyers are in control. Easy to push our limit order a little bit up, right here to the 98, and we never got there. We never got there. Price kept going higher and higher and higher and higher, kept running higher. And that was the end of the story, right? That was the end of the story. So that's how I kind of missed out on a setup right here, which was pretty viable because I saw the over opportunity. I saw how these sellers were getting trapped in their trades and how price was not following through to the downside and how we couldn't break below the 80s. And yeah, it was just very clear that we probably would squeeze quite aggressively to the upside. That's exactly what happened here. So I am happy that I saw the overall setup here. I'm happy that I followed my my guidelines, that I understood the situation very well, that I analyzed the market correctly. What I'm not happy with is not my input at that time, that I wasn't as aggressive as I was in the last couple of days here. And it had most likely to do with my mental state of knowing that we're in that resistance, knowing that we are in that higher time frame resistance right there, right? So this is why I think the main reaction was or came from, okay? So overall, the conclusion is we're still in our winning streak. We're still up. This is our first no trading day in around 2 weeks, okay? But it is what it is, man. It's from my side here, okay? Even though I said, you know, you could buy here, you could put your stop loss there. I myself did not do that. So that's the big thing here today, okay? And I'm gonna take that with me, definitely, for tomorrow again, okay? But this doesn't gonna change my outcome for tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm not gonna be sitting there, oh, I need to trade now, because guess what's gonna happen? I'm gonna get into that mindset of tomorrow. I'm gonna get into that mindset of, okay, now I have to trade because I didn't trade it today. So guess what? I'm gonna start forcing setups. That's also not what I wanna do, right? So you need to stay logic. This is how your mind messes up your brain, right? How you get into that like bad states of mind here. For example, FOMO is a real thing, right? But for me, FOMO is not really an issue anymore because we obviously know exactly how to deal with FOMO, right? But it's about, okay, didn't trade it yesterday, didn't trade it the day before, for example, right? But now I want to trade tomorrow, right? That's the idea. I have to trade tomorrow. That's also not how it works. The mind needs to stay sharp, needs to stay clean, and every trading day is a new trading session. Every day is a new trading session. And that's how we go from there here. Okay? So yeah, I think I'm going to cut it right now. It could still play out, by the way. We can still push back down. But you know what I mean. I think it's already the large move right here that we're looking for already played out exactly the way it played out right there. Okay? I hope that makes sense here, guys. So anyways, the positive side is no trade is better than a losing trade. And that's for sure factual because we have been... on a winning streak right now. We have been literally just consistently winning for the past 2 weeks or break even, which is fine. So I think we leave it like that here. But like I said before, this looks pretty strong right now at the moment here. The way the gold is trying to push through that resistance, which is very strong resistance, is very important. And we're going to see if gold has the power today to actually close a 4-hour candle. And this is what you really want to see. A 4-hour candle above the 26, because if you can do that, and then it's just proven that higher time frame resistance right here has been taken out right there, okay? Right there, right there, right there, okay? Has been taken out. And we closed above that, and that could indeed mean a larger continuation here. Because we're still in that resistance, and we still need to actually close above that resistance for it to be a higher time frame confirmation right there as well, okay? So overall, I'm going to pay attention to what happens here and see if that can actually come to fruition. For now, if you say, you know what, I'm going to be patient, I'm going to wait for price to pull back. there are definitely a couple of levels that I recommend to get into here. One of those levels is, yeah, like I said before, the 4803 and the 4797, okay? The 4803, the 4797. These are my two levels here. That makes sense because it's actually aligned perfectly with the value area high of this range right here, okay? The value area high and the point of control right there, okay? But this is where we will find potential support in case we pull back, especially now with this hourly candle closure. So this is kind of a level where you want to pay a lot of attention to what's going to happen here, okay? A lot of attention to what will price do when we actually pull back into this area, and are we getting supported here? Are we seeing a reaction here? Oil is super weak. Dollar is again getting rejected as well as the 10-year yield, okay? Which is the most important right now, the 10-year yield. The dollar is kind of holding that range, but that is kind of the overall conclusion for now. All right, hope that makes sense, guys. Anyways, that's it for me for today here. No trade today from my side here. It's been a while, but let's see what we have tomorrow again. And the beautiful thing about the live streams is that I will come back on a daily basis. So we're going to be here 5 days a week anyways. Something needs to happen. And I think yesterday's trade kind of compensated for that. So yeah, man. Let's continue to build and go from there. All right. Thank you guys so much for the support on a daily basis here. We crossed the 119,000. We're pushing hard right now. Really hard right now. It's happening in real time. All right. I hope you saw this example. Beautiful example of the order flow today. Beautiful example of how buyers were pushing through the sellers today. And I see you tomorrow again. Peace out. Thank you.
Fucking